We're here today with dotdigital CEO Milan Patel and CFO Paraag Amin, who will discuss full year 2021 results. Milan, how would you characterise these results?
We've seen a record year to date, both from a financial and strategic perspective. We've continued to see double-digit organic growth across the business with enhanced profitability, all whilst navigating and supporting our customers through COVID-19. I think a lot of the customers, depends on their industry, but they had to adapt their own business models. And for us, it's building a long-term partnership with our customers and making sure we get through both the good times and the bad times. We've seen omni-channel offering really come to the fore of this financial year with very much a strong uptake of additional marketing channels outside of email, particularly in the SMS. And we've seen customers really use SMS for a variety of different use cases, whether it's around sending SMS from a transactional standpoint or even in the marketing world. In terms of record performance, is really a testament to our effective business model. But more importantly, I always talk about our technology and our people. It's the class of our team. They've been really focused, they've adapted to the new ways of working and very committed to make sure that we get through this together.
How have your end markets performed?
There's been a lot of change for our marketeers or our customers. Overall, there's been a march towards digital marketing, which continues to remain in place. We've continued to see an acceleration to digital transformation from our customer base. You're seeing many years of digital transformation coming in many months. And that's partly because you're seeing that experience move from just a traditional experience to a digital one as well. It's about capturing positive experiences at every touch point that they have with their recipients. We've got a broad customer base, whether it's around verticals, whether it's around size of customer, and we've been resilient from a performance perspective across all of our sectors, whilst we continue to support our customers who may have been severely impacted from the COVID pandemic. They've continued to adapt, we've continued to adapt. As we look forwards, we continue to see the lockdown ease, returning to some form of normality for different industries, different verticals, or even different sizes of customers. But what you can see consistently is the use of additional channels, not just email. We've seen an increase in SMS usage. As I mentioned previously, it's about creating those positive experiences. We continue to see that growing demand, and that is consistent as we look forward.
What have been the key operational achievements during the period?
I always look at our key operational achievements around three pillars of our growth strategy, whether it's around geographic, whether it's around product innovation, whether it's around our strategic partners. But we continue to deliver on our vision of a growing omni-channel marketing platform. So if we look at what's been happening, quarter of all of our customers are now using more than one channel. That shows the usage of different channels, the usage of how they use those channels to really create those positive experiences continuing to change. What we've also seen, we've seen the increase in data. We're seeing enormous amounts of data being synced with the platform to really create that relevancy, that personalization, and that connection with their end recipients or their end customers. If we look at the stats, we've seen an 83% increase in the adoption of our cross-channel packages. And that's a combination of the use of data, as I previously mentioned, but also adding more than one channel. If we look at the revenue from our strategic partners, really homing in on the strategic partner pillar, we've continued to develop those strong relationships that we have with our strategic partners. They really help us drive brand awareness across the different regions. We really help them from a value proposition perspective, making sure the end customer is getting what they need. If we look at our strategic partners, they're around two key areas, whether it's an integration into the e-commerce platforms, whether it's an integration into the CRM from a B2B marketing perspective. So if we describe them, Magento, Shopify, BigCommerce, they continue to see an increase in demand from an e-commerce perspective, which really helps us supporting them and making sure that we deliver on the value proposition. Around the CRM, our strategic partner there is around Microsoft Dynamics, and we continue to see that double-digit growth from our strategic partners. We've seen sales from customers really using our connectors with our strategic partners really rise 14% in the period to 25.4 million. If we look at our geographic pillar, revenues in America grew 19%. That's the continuing of the investment and the commitment we're making to that market. EMEA revenue was up 23%, and that's a combination of additional channels really coming through from existing clients, but also larger customers that we're winning within the EMEA region. One of the fastest areas for us in the last financial year was seeing the growth in the APAC region. That grew 47%, albeit from a smaller base. That was really driven by not only the relationships that we now have in that marketplace and the commitment we have, but also an increase in demand in Far East Asia. Finally, underpinning our three growth pillars is the progress we've really made against our sustainability agenda. And the hot topics out there is around the environment, it's around the sustainability and the governance within the organisation. We doubled down in 2019 with what we call our .Green initiative. With all the initiatives that we've continued to deliver and the investment we're making around this subject matter, we've become the first global marketing automation platform to become carbon neutral.
Paraag, what have been the key financial highlights of the period?
We delivered record group revenue of £58.1 million for the year, and we finished the year with revenue growth of over 20% versus the prior financial year. Within that, recurring revenues increased to 93% of group revenue from 91% last year, demonstrating the strength of our business model in providing great visibility as we look forward. Breaking that down further, recurring revenues derived from licenses and data, which we define as functionality revenue, grew by 31% to £18.9 million. This emphasises the value of our R&D programme, into which we invested over £6.8 million in the year, up from £6.5 million last year. Looking further down the P&L, gross margin for the period was 82%, which compares to 87% last year. This is due to the growth of the non-email messaging channels, and in particular SMS. Adjusted EBITDA grew 9% to £19.8 million, and adjusted operating profit was up 5% to £13.7 million, giving us an operating margin of 24%. Adjusted EPS came in at 4.1p, up 4% from the 3.9p we recorded last year. Lastly, the company maintains a strong financial position with net cash at the end of the year of £32 million, up 26% from the £25.4 million at the end of last year. And to reiterate, the company has no debt.
And how does this position you for next year, and what will be your focus?
With our recurring revenue SaaS model providing excellent visibility, it gives us resilience as we move forward. So when we look at our three-pillar strategy, looking at the geographic pillar, it allows us to focus on adding new personnel to add bandwidth to our global operations. When we look at our product pillar, we can develop key innovation areas around data, marketing automation, omnichannel functionality, and artificial intelligence. And when we look at our partnerships, it allows us to add further investment into our strategic partnerships and our tech and other partnerships, which allows us to add greater value to our customer base.
Milan, how would you describe the outlook for the business for the next financial year and beyond?
Our outlook remains strong, in line with management expectations. What we've done this year has really cemented our position as a data-driven omnichannel provider. From a market perspective, you continue to see an acceleration in digital transformation. Also, what you're seeing is digital marketing becoming a larger proportion of traditional marketing budgets. And I think this change is here to stay. What you continue to see is that online experience that our customers are really creating with their end customers. We're very well placed in our vision of becoming that leading data-driven omnichannel marketing platform, really supporting our brands and engaging with their customers across all touch points. With the investments we've made in the year, this has really set the foundations for scalable growth. We are excited about our long-term future prospects.